Jordan said it better than I did. But it's not a workable field, it's a whole table in its own right. It's just nothing but troublesome problems if you put in how often. And you can get the same by summarizing your dynamic table anyway.
We're just
Can't
asking
you?
for it.
Just add up your dynamic table, you see how often.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the database. The information's already there. It's already captured in your other table. So you can just summarize it on that. Now, as Gene or Jeff pointed out, there's no need to go into 10 or 13 secondary fields. You can go into 200 or 300, or you can have 3 or 4. That's not the purpose of what we're doing. The purpose of what we're doing is to get the database structured correctly. And you can do fine with 2 or 3 secondary fields. You can add more later. And each secondary field, as Jeff tried to point out, is going to take time from you to design. So you don't want to do a lot of them, especially at first. After you get the thing up and running, you can add them if it feels like you should. It's always expandable. Okay, time to vote. Up or down, does she get to go? Mike? Okay, go. You can start to do tables. Anybody else have a preliminary report?
I just wanted to ask again, your two that you said that we could do if we didn't want to do a crazy one is a hospital.
Wait a minute, that's a judgmental.
Well,
Is the dog selling crazy? Come
I
on.
wasn't referring to Ayana's project, I'm just saying that,
Oh,
yeah, goes about crazy opportunities. It's a hospital or a hotel, correct?
yes.
Okay.
I know it's
And I had a third one that I can't remember, that I'll try to remember. Stan, and you're free to do either one.
I think you said, like an auto repair shop?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what it, no, that was from another student.
Oh,
And he had to narrow it down. He just had too many tables, because it was his father ran it. He wanted it to be real life. But we can't do a real life situation here with 3 tables. So you can start with 3 tables. After the course is over, you can still expand it up if you want to. So keep it small, stupid kids, right? Okay, any other project ideas?
Oh, is this like the approval thing you're doing? Or
Can we,
I haven't asked. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, we're approving the general concept now. You have a concept.
Yes,
Go.
drug dealer.
Okay, now what do you want to be able to get out of this database? Now, we didn't ask Yale, but I think what Yale wanted to get was the history of dog visits and rosters of owners, rosters of dogs, rosters of staff, standard stuff.
Right.
But I have to ask you, what do you want to get out of your drug dealer database?
You need to know how many drugs I need and which ones.
How many drugs you need?
Yeah, I need to know size of the supply, which drugs I need of, and what the customers need, or what they like.
Well, no, you're not leading me in.
Oh.
Are you going to be like a drugstore?
You could call it that.
Well, yeah, I would call it that, 'cause I went somewhere else when I heard drug dealer.
Oh. Happy drug? Not really.
So you're a drugstore. You're a drugstore.
Drug.
Okay, what kind of questions do you want to answer with your database about your drugstore?
The supply and demand. Is that what my
That's too
customers
big for 3
commonly
tables.
purchase?
That's too big for this course.
I think he was talking about a street drug dealer, like an apothecary.
He backed off. He backed off.
that would
He
be-
should have went for it.
That would be good too, though.
Yeah, get to inventory your drugs and manage.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Type of drug.
Yeah, you want a
which
street,
drugs
you want
I
a
need.
street dealer?
And how many I need?
Street dealer?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want you to know what questions you want the database to answer, because that shows how you have to design it.
Right, and I need to know
High-tech drugs.
which drugs I need to have on hand, how many on hand by, because of the supply, or the demand by my customers on which drugs they need, and how often they need.
Okay, now that question is too advanced for this simplistic course, so you gotta simplify it down.
Okay,
But I do assume that you want a customer list that you can turn over to precinct 17.
correct.
How about
So you
just
want a
how many-
customer
how
list
many
of street
transactions
customers
you
that,
have?
this, as you said, this doesn't have to be realistic.
Yeah,
Okay, now, okay, so you want a table of your customers. customers,
Correct.
so you can print out your customers.
Yeah, that was one table, and then the other would be
And you can make up so many funny names for
drugs.
them.
Table of the drugs,
Yeah, right. Which drugs are on
LSD,
hand.
cocaine, marijuana,
Yep.
and you want, now what would you capture in your composite table? One customer, one drug, one date, one time?
No.
What would you capture?
Yeah,
So you're doing your thinking in the meeting, you should do your thinking before the meeting, come in like, yay,
Oh, no, I'm just asking for approval.
You haven't said anything to prove yet.
Oh, I have to come up with the whole concept.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I haven't done that
Can I
yet.
ask for
I
like,
just came up with that topic.
But yeah, general topic is approved.
Good.
You know, in your presentation.
Yeah, that's what I
Alright,
have.
go,
I have a general topic too.
go.
I just want other people's input so I can have more of a better idea of how to
So you
do
can
it.
get them to do some of your work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's put it on the table, huh?
copy.
Okay, so for my,
So, like a restaurant or cafeteria, like maybe the popularity of some meals being ordered or requested.
Okay, I
Very
can,
general.
I can see that what you have is a master table of meals, items, food items, okay? And, I guess you can have a master table of customers, but I'm not sure you need it to answer that question, but to answer other questions. And then your composite table would be one customer ordering one item. And what you could get out of this is the total number of sales of any one item. And that's what you would want, okay? And then you could also do other kinds of analysis. For example, if you did age or date of birth in your customers, you can see what age group was ordering what items, and what genders were ordering what items,
Or like maybe time, like
what time of
Specific
day items
dishes.
sold. Yeah, you can do those kinds of analysis. Now, I don't really see why you need your customers for this to answer those questions. The customer is irrelevant unless you want to do a customer analysis also, like what age group likes what. Otherwise, two tables are sufficient. You just, well, actually, you just need your meals and your sales. Actually, one table is sufficient. You just need a table of sales, and you can tell what's popular, what's not. So it's a one table. So if you want to answer more questions, you can go to, that project's too simple for this class. If you just want to say how much of your selling of each thing, is not one table sufficient,
yeah.
just sales.
So it would just need to be just a little bit more detailed for it to work.
You want to answer some more questions.
Wouldn't mine be one table as well?
You want to know what's popular and what you need.
I don't care who the customers are either.
It tends to be, yes. If that's the only question you want to answer, then it's a one table.
Right, too simple.
Too
Good.
simple.
I like it.
So that's why we have these preliminary, you get simple grades for simple projects.
Oh.
Okay, anybody else want to brainstorm an idea, throw something out? Now, Mike, you had an excellent one that already looked like it was gonna fly for me. You wanna share it out?
I'm ready to talk about it.
Pardon me, sir?
I say, I'm ready to talk
Okay,
about
let's
it.
listen to Chief.
Alright. So imagine that, I'm a Air Force Junior ROTC instructor.
Imagine that, will you?
Imagine that. And, I have cadets who wear Air Force, uniforms. And, in the program, they get issued those uniforms. So, what I would like to know is which cadets have uniforms and what items do they have? So my first static table would be the cadet and then their name and birthday and gender, last name, first name, gender, and birthday. And my second static table would have a list of all the uniform items that they are supposed to receive. And then my dynamic table would be called issue, and would be items that would be issued to the cadets. So I would link my cadet table to the dynamic table, and then also the uniform inventory table to the dynamic table, the issue table, which is a one-to-many, and then the student, the cadet one is a one-to-many in the dynamic.
Respond.
So would that just be like a check, like a yes or no? They got,
Well, I could see
they
what
got
items they
those,
were
they got
issued.
your.
So
Right.
the specific
Well,
items
the biggest-
in the table, the specific items, like from the
Socks,
static-
shoes,
In the
socks.
static, table, it would be, I'm just going with the stuff that they have to have to wear the uniform, the flight cap, the hat, the shirt, the
like
pants,
1,
the
2, 3,
shoes.
4.
Or just yes or no?
Yeah, like he said, it's a 1 or 0. It's not, it's either a yes or no.
Or would, if you
Well,
could
no, I
add more
want to know which
detail
items
too.
they have.
Right, but
in case
each
they're
item is
missing
gonna be,
something.
like, this member is item yes or no. It's
Yeah,
not
but it's
just-
even simpler, if there is an entry in the table, it's a yes. If there's no entry, it's a no, so it's by presence. They were trying to create problems, didn't they? That happens in peer reviews a lot.
Yeah, it's a fine.
You could add size, right, too? Like
Well,
sizes?
if I could add hundreds and thousands of
But it doesn't
things,
matter,
but
'cause you
I'm
just
just
want-
doing enough
Just to know
For
if they have
the
what they
unit.
need.
Just if
to
they
know
have it
that
or
they
they don't.
have, yes.
Yeah, but so you
What
can
is
print,
it?
you do a printout of what uniform items each cadet has.
Has.
And then you can spot shortages, right?
Correct.
So that's the function of this. You
Right,
should have
yeah,
said
yeah,
that
that's-
first, that's what he wants the database for. And, this is already similar to what was done a couple of years ago. A person worked in supply, and they wanted to know, what soldiers were issued what supply items, exactly the same thing. So, they had great success with this. But then you, got into some fields. What kind of fields are you going to have in your static uniform table? You're gonna have shirt. You're gonna say anything about the shirt?
Well, for the project, the shirts right now, I have two types of shirts, a blue shirt, short sleeve, and a blue shirt, long sleeve.
Two different items.
Two different
Now, those
items.
are the primary key fields, and we'll find an ID number for them, okay?
Right.
And assign an ID number, and then that will be the name. But do you have any attributes about this shirt? Any secondary fields about that item?
Secondary field, I don't currently, but if I were to put some, the blue shirt, could either make short sleeve or long sleeve.
No, that's two different shirts. Isn't it?
There's two different shirts.
Two entries, two lines.
The only other attributes could be the sizes of the shirts, which I have many sizes.
Both
Yeah,
shirts.
but,
Yeah, that's right.
For the project, I
Yes.
Small, medium, or large.
Yeah, but
Yes.
You can, but I don't think that falls into your scope. Like, you don't care what sizes, you just wanna know if they exist.
Well, he
Here's
just.
what I'm saying, he's asking for more field.
Yeah, yeah,
If I'm
yeah.
gonna put more
Right,
field.
yeah, he
I'm gonna
can
put
create
small,
another
medium.
report, who's got small shirts? Am I short on small shirts? Yeah, that can come out. Now, when they had the supply project, they were also stuck for any secondary fields for the items. So one of them they came up with was returnable. Is the item returnable?
Mhm.
Yes or no? Socks generally were not.
Neither are hats. Neither are hats.
And
or
some of the
socks.
others were,
And
agreed?
shoes are
So,
not returnable.
so put up returnable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, okay, so any more queries about this?
Yeah, there are multiple colored shirts,
No, just
so
blue.
you don't need to put blue,
That's,
just shirt.
Well, that's the terminology that's used for the shirt. The Air Force shirt is called a blue shirt.
Exactly.
Air Force doesn't have shirts, it has blue shirts, okay?
Yeah, you don't just.
True. That's a true statement, but. that's what
You're not
it's
military,
called.
It's just a shirt.
It's not, it's a blue shirt.
True statement.
Okay, up, down,
Good.
go to good. Okay, any other thing to float? Okay, now everyone's got to come in next class with what we just saw. That's when it's due. These guys are ahead of the game, right? But yours is due next class. These guys can start coding. These guys can start coding. What else are they gonna do?
Nothing.
Okay, let's go to MS Access and continue. I'm lucky enough to have the same computer, I'm lucky enough to have the same file.
Is a composite table and a static table the same?
No, they're the opposites.
So is a static table and a composite table, is a composite table and a dynamic? Dynamic
Yeah, I
table.
use
Are those
word
the same?
dynamic.
Yes, composite dynamic link table are all synonyms, okay?
Roger that.
And static master also has other synonyms. So here's my class
Nice
database.
and confusing. Thanks.
And we left our hero in the midst of being surrounded by enemies. And he had these three tables completed. Are we all in favor? The courses and the students were master static tables. The enrollment table linked the two, resolved many-to-many relationships into one-to-many relationships. And we're now ready to access what the relationships between these tables actually are. So we click on Database Tools, we click on Relationships. And we've already loaded in our three tables, and we've already established the first relationship. The student ID in the students field is linked now to student ID in the enrollments field, in the enrollments table. And it is a one-to-many relationship. You see the one and the infinity, agreed? That means it's a one-to-many relationship. Now, when I establish it, I also enforce referential integrity. So Sierra, what does it mean to enforce referential integrity?
Make sure that nothing else is referencing something else.
Nope. Anybody else? Kazuza, what does it mean to enforce referential integrity? Should I have sugarcoated that? I'm sorry.
If it doesn't, it should. It's pretty good.
Integrity, it's referencing, making,
Jordan Green, referential integrity. Okay, I'll say it once more. Referential integrity being enforced means you cannot enter, the staff person cannot enter an enrollment student ID that's not previously present in the student file.
Oh, yeah.
okay, that sounds fine.
That's not previously present in the student file.
So you have to load it in one file for it to be present in the other.
First,
Correct.
it's in the time order. Referential integrity. Now I'm going to establish this relationship. I'm going to take this course ID and I'm going to link it to the course ID in the link field. And I get this table to see if this is what I really want to do. And the table courses, do I want to take the field IFSM 201 and link it to the field called course in, the course is called IFSM 201? That doesn't look like what I want to do. So I suspect maybe I have a labeling error. So I'm going to cancel this for the moment, and I'm going to go back to my enrollments table and go to design view and see just what I did. This is course. Okay, now I'm going to go to courses table, and I'm going to go to design view and see what I did there. And yeah, look what I did there. What did I want to put under field name compared to what I actually put?
Courses.
I want to put course name, agreed? Course number. So now's the time to do it before I establish relationships, and it gets really hard to repair. Course name, okay. So now let's try to save that baby. Seems like it's saved, actually. So now let's close it, because we can't do enrollments unless it's closed. Go back to, alright, so now it looks more like something like what I want. So I take this course name and link it to this course. So do I want the field course name in the table courses to be linked irrevocably, and for better or worse, sickness or health, to the field course in enrollments? I do want to go there. Now, Sierra, do I want to enforce referential integrity?
Yes,
What would it mean to enforce referential
it
integrity?
means you wanna take,
It means you're prohibited from doing something. What is it you're prohibited from doing?
from taking,
No, from entering
from entering
an enrollment
an enrollment
containing a course
containing a course
that doesn't
that doesn't
finish,
finish,
that doesn't,
sorry, okay, answer.
Keep going, you almost got it.
Those two exist.
Finish.
good answer.
It works. We'll just say yes.
You just closed it.
Yeah, you just
Closed
closed
it
it.
out.
Sorry.
Okay, one more time.
Yes.
Great.
Do I want to enforce referential integrity?
Affirm.
Yes.
Sarah, what does it mean to enforce referential integrity?
I was just saying it, I didn't retain any of it, so pass.
Okay,
gonna
anyway, what
write it
does it
down.
mean to enforce referential integrity in this situation?
It doesn't allow you to enter a course that doesn't exist in courses.
An enrollment.
Correct.
Right, it doesn't allow you to enter a course in the enrollments table that doesn't have prior existence in where?
Or your courses.
In the
that-
courses table. Okay, good. So I'm going to enforce it as a business rule. It can go either way. And I'm gonna create the link and the link is created. Okay? So now we have come a long way. We have created our three tables and we have established relationships between them. After much false starts, I had to change quite a few items. Now, this experience teaches you that it's very wise not to have entered any data at this point. Otherwise, on every false start, you would have had to delete all that data because Microsoft Access was rejecting it, and then enter it again. So don't enter the data until you get all this structural stuff in place. Now that it's in place, we could enter some data. So let's go to the students table, and now we're in datasheet view, and we have one entry here already. So we could enter another one. So let's have a student ID of 321. Something like that. And this belongs to Green. And Sierra Green.
That's like the.
Okay, and eye color, none. Okay, and GPA, none. Date of birth, none. Street address, none. City, none. So that data has been entered, agreed? Now, I could go on and enter data in the students in the courses table too, and let's see what we have there. We have course name, I'm just going to call it 201, and Professor Me. And click to add, okay, and add another field, so room. So we're gonna add the room, and this is going to be 205. But I wanna give a title to it, so I'm not sure how that takes.
This is field one.
Field 1, but I wanna rename it. So the easiest thing to do is to do this in design view like you're supposed to, agreed?
Yes.
So what you do is put here room. And you save it. And now you go to datasheet view and you can do entry. Okay, good. Now let's go to enrollments. And so we have student. Now let's examine referential integrity. What I'm gonna put in is 476. And I go to course, and the course, I'm gonna do 321, which doesn't exist. Grade, we're gonna worry about later. Now, I'm going to try to add this student, and I crashed the program. Microsoft Access very seldom crashes. It usually can handle anything. What does it say? You cannot add or change a record because a related record is required in table students. Is this telling me that I've done a referential integrity violation?
Yes.
Yes. And this is what it'll tell your staff member, hopefully faster. And so you can't do it. So I say help, well, we know what the problem is. So I have to back this out. Access is very bad at backing stuff out. cannot contain a null value, okay, thank you. But how do I back out this darn thing? They really want you to enter a correct value, and, so maybe you can't enter a null value, they're really bad at this. Okay, so I just try to save, get saved. I don't know a solution to this.
Delete record.
Delete the record? They want me to enter a good value. I just want to get out.
Or if you just hit like escape.
Control, Alt, Delete works sometimes.
Yeah, but then we have to start over. Okay, I'll just open another
That's what
tab.
happens when you stand You're stuck.
Second time that phrase
Okay.
ruined my life.
I'm ignoring that problem for the moment. Now, this is our data sheet view, which is used to enter data, true? By a technical person like yourself. But you're not going to enter data, you're just designing the database, you're going to give it to the field reps to enter data. They don't know anything about all of these technical items that are on the screen, and they're gonna get very scared by it and call you in to train them, which you don't wanna do. So what we do is we enter a sanitized entry form that they'll find very comfortable. That does the same thing as the data sheet view, only it does it in a secretarial way instead of a technical way. So what we're going to do is create an entry form. A form. Now, you can do this with a form wizard and do it quite successfully. Meaning the wizard will do about 90% of what you need to have done. There are certain things in Microsoft Access that are better done by the wizard and certain things better not done. So this is one that's better done by the wizard. Okay. So now, the table that's going to be used is students. Now, these are the fields that are in the student table. On the right side, you are to move over the fields that you also want to appear on your entry form. Some of them you might not want, they're private fields, agreed? Only you know about them.
Social security.
Never mind that, okay. Yeah, like social security number, okay. And, or if it's just an automatic number, that's the primary key. You don't want to show that. But in this case, we want to put them all over, so we get the double arrow. Now you can move one of them back if you don't like it, so you highlight it and hit the single arrow, and it's back, single arrow goes over. So you can move the forms over that you want. Now, do you want your form to appear in columns, or rows, or data sheet, or justified? Columns are fine. And what do you want to call your form, students? Now we're gonna open the form right now, okay? Now you can modify the form's design. So I show you how you can put in bells and whistles in your form. Actually, you can do that anytime. So first let's get it out there. So here's the form. Now that certainly is not more aesthetic to me than data sheet view. But for entry personnel, they find this much more comfortable than the data sheet view. It does exactly the same thing. So your second requirement is to create forms for all three of your tables. Now this form navigation is typical down at the bottom. Here we have our first record. If we want to enter a new record, then we click all the way at the end, and we get a new blank field. We can enter a new record at this time. So let's enter a new record. Student ID 478. Last name, none.
So real quick though, why didn't it go to the next record that exists, green? On the form sheet, it should have went to the right to the next person with all of the columns, correct? It should have went to green, and then first name, last name, zip, all that stuff.
Oh, you mean because I had two records? Because I didn't click on the next arrow, I clicked on the arrow that took me to a blank form.
I'm sorry.
On the navigation bar, you have different choices.
Okay.
So I went directly to a new record. Okay, first name, none. And, eye color, so all of this is out there now, so it'll be automatically saved if we go to another new record, which is another new record. Now, we got three records out there, and this is the one we just entered, this is Baker, and where did Green go? Do we have a Green? How many students do we have entered? Only one, agree? Yeah, so they're all here. So now you can create a form for each of your three tables. And now down here at the someplace are the prompt fields. Now, we entered a prompt field, perhaps on one of these records. Let's go back to the students table. And we did have two records. Maybe we didn't save it yet, I don't know. Okay, now let's go to design view. Design view, and now I'm going to put in,
Close your form.
going to close the form. Close.
So when you created that in form mode, it actually just created a whole nother student for you in design mode as well, huh?
No. Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's an
Yes. And in data sheet view, it has, notice there's only one table of students, and it added that new student, no matter whether you entered in data sheet view or whether you entered in form view, it adds it to the same one table.
This looks different.
Okay, now, in this design view, notice we have a prompt. For last name, we can say, enter the student's last name. And let's see where this will appear when we go to form. So let's save this thing. And now let's view and see what we have the views here. Let's go to forms. And now let's click on student form. Okay, so I have to close the students table. And now I should be able to open the forms. And now, if I want to go to a new record, you see where I'm going for a new record?
Yeah.
This is the next record, and there it is, green, okay? And the next record is none. But if we want to go to a new record, we go to this one. Now, when I come down to the student's name, I should get the prompt displayed to me that I've entered into the student's last name. Only I'm not sure how to bring the prompt up. I thought it would be automatically visible. And sometimes, okay, we have to work on that. The prompt that I typed in the design field should now be present to the user to aid her in her entry. Sir?
Maybe you didn't save it before you closed it,
Yeah.
right before, because I remember you closed it, but I don't know.
The error message may have
Yeah.
undone.
You guys have a lot of experience with error messages. So let's go to design view. Nope, it's there, description. Okay, so, now remember we don't close this one, we thought we had to close it. Okay, so let's go to the form again, and now let's go to the new entry, and,
Awesome. So excited for this project, by the way.
Maybe you need to reclose, maybe you need to close this students and then reopen the form again so it can like load the new instruction.
I don't know, but it's a small item, and let's not play around with it, because we don't want to decrease the enthusiasm and excitement that's already present in the room. Okay, so now what I want people to do, and those of you that have already received a thumbs up can start. We need to have your three tables established, we need to have the relationships established, and I need to have 3 entry forms. Okay? And I'd like all of that by Monday. Okay, we're done. Yes, sir.
The relationship, how did you get to the relationship thing again? Where you were linking? Is it on the top, like when you're in design view, it's in one of the...
Okay, hang out. Okay, I don't mind saying things once, I don't mind saying them twice, but this is the third time. Click on database tools,
Okay.
and then click on relationships.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, we're done. Now, people will take personal breaks and finish the test. That's what we're doing.
Thanks again.
Why don't I get a real job? Wow.
I have a Quick question.
I've been had before, Sierra, but I've never been had that good.
Quick question
That was
before I-
top of the line, that was top of the line.
I think it's because it was genuine that it was top of the line. As soon as he said that, I was like.
I thought he meant it.
I have my keys figured out for these two, but for this one.
Okay, have we talked about this project?
No, I'm just trying to bring
Well,
it
I can't jump in the
I
middle.
don't,
Bring me up to date.
want to figure it out, but.
Okay, but I'll tell you what you would have. What you have is one customer and one worker, and you have date and time of the service. So, customer ID, worker ID, date and time.
Right,
Just a table from that report. Sir?
Test.
You have three tables, right? This is the one for the students table. So I made a form for the students table. Now, I haven't made a form for this table yet, and I haven't made a form for that table. So you have to make forms for these tables also. So what I'm gonna do is go to create, I'm gonna do the form wizard, and which table now? And then I'm gonna do courses. So I move all the fields over, go to next. So now this is an empty form for courses. So now I have to do enrollments. How would I do enrollments? Go to create, form wizard, and what table? Move all the fields over. Now I did my three. No, only three tables. So want to work on your test? Practice time is over. Oh, you mean to take home? No, I don't want to, because I need to keep those secret. But for you, I'll give you one, yes, okay. Then bring it back sometime before the course is over. And don't copy it. Okay, so now let's finish tests.